Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to share a walkthrough of September, and I'm very excited and happy with how my pages turned out, especially my vacation pages with my friend Erica. Let's get started. I put the tab, I don't even know. I put the tab in the totally wrong spot, but this is the start of September. The dashboard did not get a lot of pieces on it, which is fine. We start off the month with a really pretty color scheme. I had these pieces and this one from a cut shop. Printable kit, I believe it was September. So I just paired these two colors together, and then I put a workout photo as well. So really love how that started. This starts the month, and I always put looking forward to and then how the month started. I then move into like a more of a fall theme, you know, with the cat collage pieces and the mushrooms. And then I just said the weather is post-apocalyptic according to my daughter, happy mail, and school stories. And I had every intention of doing some Coffee Monster Co. questions. Helen always puts them on her blog she's done it for a few years, I think. And so that was my intention with any of the empty space, to fill out some questions, but I think this is the only spot I wound up doing them. So that's okay. For the third, I loved this quote that said, "Dear September, please let this be the start of a softer season." And the day was all about taking it slow, so it was perfect. And then the butterflies, I just cut from a washi tape and stamped something really big. Focus on the good. Move it into Thursday. We were doing a kind week at school, and today was all about being kind. So the theme was black and yellow. I found a cute bee that I could sprinkle throughout my page, plus a quote about bees. I even went to a physical therapy appointment as well. So definitely a busy day with lots of things going on, and I just love those bees. They're so cute. Friday, it just happened to work out that I think it was either Thursday or Friday. This was my calendar page, and it was absolutely perfect. KO and knockout. Like, I knocked out Friday. So Friday would be the O, and I loved it. I even put a little piece of washi tape from the Coffee Monster Co. And I put some more down here, trying my best, one day at a time. And then I did something about my daughter, being proud of her, and just a few other little things. But I really love how that page turned out. Now this one, I really loved this quote: "Don't let your brain be Velcro with the bad stuff. Let the good stuff stick too." And I wanted to play off of those colors, but I'm not sure if it turned out exactly how I was thinking, and that's okay. Sometimes it happens and we just have to roll with it. But I did bring out my skeleton, Stella, and I grabbed a little sticker there, so I love it. And I documented feeling a breeze, because in California, we never know when fall is coming, or if we're just getting a sneak peek, or if we have to wait till November. So feeling a breeze is definitely exciting. For the 7th, I went to my friend's paint party. So I used a new kit from Helen, the Coffee Monster Co., and just used the new washi as well. So pretty simple, because the main thing was the paint party. I think I had left space for a photo, but obviously it's too small for a photo, so just moving on. Obviously it's too small for a photo, so I just left it blank. My friend Jen Boom Creates, she sent me this, and I was just dying laughing and decided, you know what, we're gonna start the week with this because it's perfect. It says, "Or what if," and hear me out, no. So I went with that, some skeleton tape, Creep It Real, a giant sticker, the agenda, because I mean, look at the day. Monday, we have since kind of fixed Monday to not be so crazy, but which is so appreciated. I do not need crazy starts to the week. I don't think anybody does, but this is how my Monday was. I also started the day by looking for a dress, and so I just love how I have the little pops of green in my page, and just did an October type page in September. For the 9th, I had to learn how to change some paper in a copier machine, so I saved it. I saved a little scrap, and that kind of determined my color scheme with the purple. And so I grabbed a stationery tape from the Coffee Monster Co. and talked about a funny story of trying to find math papers with another teacher, and Instagram love, and a good afternoon. Continuing the 10 on 10 with cat collage, this piece here, some Coffee Monster Co. stickers, and then Ali Edwards. But just to remind you, the 10 on 10 is all about doing 10 stories on the 10th. So I've done it all year. I think I'm gonna do it forever and ever. It's really the best. So just to remind you, this was August. I actually had July, but I went back and fixed it. So that is August. And then a sneak peek of October. Let's see if I can find it. So October is over here, cat collage again, but I love it. I think I forgot October. Yes, I did. So I'll have to go back and add that in. But like I said, such a low-key memory keeping project, but it's so fun to look back on 10 stories about the day. For the 11th, it was 9/11, so I kind of kept it not somber, but it felt somber with the grays and the blacks, but you know, that's what I decided to go with. And then Friday, just a running list of what was going on for the day. I used a fancy washi tape that has like these leaves that you could use as a washi tape, but you can also peel them off and use them separately. So that was really fun. Over here in October, I peeled them off and used them in separate spots. It was fun to do. I also had to start packing for my trip because I left the next day for my trip with Erica, and I was so excited. This was our 3rd adventure together and the longest gap in between our last adventure. So we hadn't seen each other in so long. We decided to take the train down to LA. And so I woke up really early in the morning. My husband took me to the train station, and I just brought a ton of different supplies so I could kind of mix and match and when I was putting together pages. And I decided to use some really old paper person stickers here. And I even did kind of like a watercolor image for the train and included a photo here. I also decided, based off of seeing something Helen from the Coffee Monster Co. did with her vacation pages, to cut down my days. So basically you can see when I returned, which was the 18th. And so now it's here. I think I might add a tab, but I haven't decided. I also added in a mini insert so that way I could not only finish the rainbow, but add in a few more details, and on the back include a collage for the next day. Because our first day in LA, we got to sleep in, we took a pit stop for some groceries and snacks, and then we went on a pumpkin hike. So I included a collage and all the pumpkins, all the orange. It just looks fantastic. Following day, we went to Disneyland, and it is nearly impossible, at least for my friend and I, to find stickers to buy at Disneyland. We eventually, through some research, discovered that employees might carry stickers if you ask them, but then that turned into a whole debacle. It was really interesting, and it felt like this mysterious adventure we were trying to go on. Not intentionally, but we did go on it. Anyways, we got a few free stickers. Like I said, it was interesting. But this is one of the ones my friend got me, and I played off of that with this washi tape and a few pumpkins, and then Boo Crew and Scary Good. And I just did a running list for each of the different topics that I decided on. So rides, seasonal treats, side quest, seasonal fun, seasonal shows, and then a fancy dinner. So that was really fun to put together. And then the rest of the pages I kind of finished when I got home. So you have Oogie Boogie Bash. I did 2 photos there. Good Eats, costumes. Doofenshmirtz, I got to talk to him, one of my kids' favorite cartoon characters. So that was very exciting for me to talk to him. And then Faves of the Night and Stats. The next day, we got up super early, and I had this calendar piece and decided to include it because I was exhausted and took a nap when I got home. And then I just talked about 3 different things that I did when I got home, because I jumped right back into the routine of life. And then I included for the next day, bring on the routine. I went back to work. It was only a 2-day work week, so that wasn't too bad. And then I had this, I don't know if it's a quote or if it's like AI generated, but I loved it. It said, me trying to get through summer. We were having a little bit of a heat wave. It was also National Cheeseburger Day, so I doodled a cheeseburger. I also doodled a finch because I just wanted to do a few stats on finch. And I don't know if I've talked about finch, but finch is a little bird that you can dress up and decorate its birdhouse and send it on adventures if you do like different chores and tasks, and I love it. It really helps me out with getting things done, so I really love it. Actually, the next day I had done 100 adventures with Finch, which is actually pretty amazing because I have tried to do a 100-day project several times. So if you count Finch, I have finally done a 100-day project, which makes me so happy. I had like a mini kit with some Ali Edwards pieces I had printed in this season here for this, and then the flowers. So I played off of that and did stories going down the side. So Morning Rain, My Daughter and the Librarian, A Good Sweat, Late Night Creative. And then I had this empty spot over here, so I decided to just write my recipe for my protein bowl, which I absolutely love and I live on. Over on the 20th, I had a lot of empty space here, and I did a back journaling page for this one. So I didn't know what I was going to put here, and then I remembered that I did the Then and Now challenge that was like going around Instagram, where you take the first photo on Facebook and compare it with the photo that's on there now, like the most recent. So it was very interesting to see bathing my first kid, and now he's a giant, almost 17-year-old. That's crazy. Also included little stories right there and called it done. Pretty simple page, just moving on. And then this one you guys saw come together in a journaling process video. Super fun to put this one together. I'm hoping to film another journaling process video again soon, but these pages are just amazing. I love them. It's all about fall because the next day was fall, but I included this quote and the theme for my works dress up currently making, talking about fall and what I'm hoping to do for fall, and did a bunch of stickers down here with cat collage pieces. For the 23rd, it was picture day at my school, so that's what I started with, included a few more work stories, and then talked about my fluctuating energy level, which I'm sure I've mentioned on here a few times, but that's what I decided to talk about. And then all of these pieces are from a printable kit from Mandy Ford Art. I had made a ton of these, or printed a ton of these, and then it was kind of like having another mini kit. So just included that. This one I absolutely love, and it turned out a little bit busier than I normally make pages, but I love it. I love it. I wound up spending more time on the couch, which was just what I needed. And I talked about how I had a potato afternoon, and then I put, that sounds like a tomorrow problem. So I just was taking care of myself and making sure that I got that rest that I needed. I also had a fun interaction with a second grader, so I included that and how the weather was feeling fallish. The 25th was a back journaling page. I had the leaves all stuck down and this screenshot from a reel, and the title, and then I didn't have anything else. So I just threw it together really quick. It's not my favorite, but you know, it's done. I wanted to include what I was making, taking care of my health because I got some blood work, my new glasses, and where this screenshot came from. Moving into Friday, I loved this clear sticker I had in my stash that said, "You've got this." So I figured it worked perfect for Friday. And then talking about resting, meal prep, and then talking with Erica. And since I was talking about how it was a long week at work, I decided to go with kind of this work-themed washi tape. For the 27th, my son had a soccer tournament, and that's all we really did. So I took these giant die cuts from a Mandy Ford kit and decided to go ahead and use them. And it took up a lot of the space, which is perfect. That's what I needed. And then I included a collage of my son at the soccer tournament. So I just talked about it, and then also what the evening included. Over here on the 28th, I had Smartichoke, which totally reminded me of my daughter and her project. She was making an edible plant cell. So right after we finished breakfast, she told me to get off the couch and we need to go get her supplies. That's what we did, and her project turned out amazing. I also did a to-done list, and I kind of just kept track of everything that I did during the day on my phone and then wrote down a few of them there. I was also listening to A Court of Mist and Fury, which was amazing. I'm about ready to start the third one. So excited, and I'm glad that I got back into that series. I had read the first book, and then I don't know what happened. I stopped reading, I don't know. But I prefer listening now because the narrator just does a really great job. For the 29th, I just love how these pages turned out to end the month. They turned out amazing. So I had Monday affirmations, and I had sent this to a friend, and I decided to go ahead and use that for my page. And I didn't let it dry enough, so there's like some scratches on it. I don't know if you can see. I focused it so you could see, but it kind of gives it a distressed look, so I guess it works. But I even printed a ton of flowers from Mandy Ford art. This kit is actually a gratitude kit for November, but I think it works perfect here and really helped me bring in the colors that I wanted to use. Then Brittany Frost Designs, she does so many amazing illustrations. I love them. So she did one that said "me" because tomorrow is October. And I hope you guys can see that. Let me grab a paper. So this is what it looks like, and it's just incredible. So I did a giant flip, I don't know, insert. Yeah, insert, and then this is the last day of the year. My teens were acting like porcupines, so, which I just, you know, with teenagers, you either have to laugh or cry. And at this point, I was laughing, and I said, it's like a dog getting hit with a face full of quills. My daughter and I watch a veterinarian show, so that's why I'm always thinking, or I guess it popped into my head, dog with a face full of quills. But, you know, my teenagers are they're very entertaining. Let's put it that way. I talked about what we're doing in the classroom, still working on expectations, a girls' evening, end of September energy, and the best of September. So I love journaling. I hope you guys can tell because it brings me so much joy. But I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing a walkthrough of September. I've enjoyed sharing it with you. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a great day. Bye.